Good morning, traders. It is 9:49 a.m. It's November 5th, and I just took a trade. There was a good setup. I traded my plan, and it looks like I mean it didn't work out. I only lost 2 cents, essentially a break-even trade. But it's a little bit frustrating because the trade did end up kind of taking off, or the stock did. But you've got to trade your plan and stick to your plan. Otherwise, you're never going to know if what you're doing is really working or not. At least I would say, at least for 100 trades. Right now is not the best time to be testing out a new strategy, or I should say, confirming a new strategy, because the market is so crazy. So there's no sense in changing anything at this point. November 5th, 9:28 a.m., a couple of minutes before. So anyway, yeah, there was one trade that I wanted to take on KXIN, which didn't happen, and basically I was looking for like a pop at the open because it was looking really strong in the pre-market. So I did put in a stop limit order for the break of the last candle. Keep an eye on both charts. Just want to show you that really quick. 1 minute chart has like a little bit of a delay. Sometimes this works out really well, and today it kind of worked too, but it didn't end up being a trade or anything. But the idea is that if it doesn't break this level and sells off, you don't get filled, and that doesn't always work either. Sometimes it pops up, it fills you, and then it sells off, so you got to be ready to get out really fast. But luckily, I'm not going to have you watch this whole thing, but that's what happened here was essentially that this thing started selling off. It never filled me, so I just canceled the order. I started looking at the one-day top gainer list on my other computer, and I'll show you what. Let's see. Yeah, so SOLO, which made some nice moves in the pre-market, was starting to recover. And there I was kind of gauging the range of the candles. They were about 3 cents each, which isn't that strong, of a move. And I didn't really want to get in for the break of the high of day, because there was some probably bag holders back here that could have pushed it back down. But here, hold on 1 second. Let's see what happens when it did break that level. It stopped some shorts. It looks like it hit some short seller stops and caused the stock to pop. This was at 315. So let's just, for example, I would have been in at 316, and let's see how much it popped. Looks like only 318. So looks like so that would have been a tough trade to make a profit on. Short sellers. I mean, that's assuming I got like a perfect fill, and I would already be out there because my strategy is once it comes back down to my entry, I need to get out. So this thing now I was thinking about putting in a stop limit for the break of the all-time high. Well, the high of the pre-market. The problem with that is when this thing's like so extended like this, it could touch this and sell off, or just go up 1 cent and sell off. So I was kind of hesitant because I'd rather see a pullback, and it kind of did give. I put in the order before the pullback because I just figured, you never know with these things. And, right now it's like a 50-50 chance of these things breaking their pre-market high and taking off or selling back off. So, you just don't know unless you try. And I was ready to stop out if it didn't work. So what ends up happening is I'm not filled here, and it gives me the pullback that I want, which is ideal. And then here it pops up. It breaks through the pre-market high, and I have my order set to get triggered at 321. 15-cent move. Looks like I might get filled here really soon. I'm ready to get out. Yeah, so it filled me really fast. I have to say that that order was executed perfectly by Weeble. I just wanted to look at the price. Oh, I don't have the 5-minute chart in the right place to see the price move. Let's look at the volume and sales here. I want to see like the moment that 321 came up and how quickly my position came up on Weeble. That's a good way to see. Yeah, right there at 942.10. Oh, yeah, 942.10. There was a order at 321, which triggered my order. And here it is, 942.11. So, and I'm already in. I'm already filled. So very fast execution. Yeah. So. So okay, so you know what? That was a little bit screwy on my part because, I looked at it like, oh, it just popped, and in my mind, I think I was probably thinking, there was like a few cents, not just 1 cent, like it did, looking back now, it only popped up 1 cent. So I definitely should not have hit my sell half order at that point, but I did. And then again, there was like the disappointment because I realized like as soon as I hit it, it sold off. Let's just watch that real quick, like in real time without any pauses. See how quickly it happens. And then of course it bounces back up. This would have been a better place to sell half at that 323. But so my strategy is like once it pops, if it kind of stalls for even like a second, to sell half. The only problem there is I didn't see the price, that it was only up 1 cent. But I don't know. I mean, that first pop down, I may have been tempted to get out anyway. So like it's hard to trade in hindsight and think of what you would have done or should have done. So the best thing to do always is just to follow your plan, because as long as you follow your plan, even if the trade doesn't work out, you can feel good that, hey, you know what, I traded my plan. And if you trade your plan every single day the same exact way, then you put statistics in your favor. And eventually you're going to find out if your plan really works or not, but you got to really give it like a good 100 trades before you know if that's going to happen or not. And this plan so far, I'm only in maybe 10 or 12 trades, I think. Maybe close to 20, I don't know. And so far it's like essentially break even, but the market has been so crazy lately, it's not a good time to judge a new strategy. You really got to let it play out. Like I said, give it a good 100 trades. So let's see where this thing goes. So now, I mean, notice I only have 1 share at this point. I think I had 3 originally, or 4 originally. But you see, I mean, for my strategy to work, it's really tough when this thing is so choppy like this. I was thinking about adding here and just 1 share, and that would have put my average like right in the middle here. But because of that choppiness and that volatility, I hesitated to do that. I didn't do it. And I think it's a good thing I didn't, because I would have just added to my loss. Or break, it would have been a bigger loss. I lost 2 cents, which is essentially the cost of 1 sell order. So my actual P&L was a little bit, positive, but when you factor in like the 3 sell orders are 6 cents, so I must have ended up making like 4 cents profit off of this, which is essentially nothing. And then all the sell orders racked up. That's my strategy. Yeah, so now, I only have 1 share left, and I'm thinking, maybe I'll get lucky and this thing will pop, continue upward. And I was also thinking if it breaks this level, then I'll add 1, but that doesn't really happen. it starts to come down. And my strategy is like once I've sold it all, like, if I've sold partial shares, it's because I was trying to take a profit, right? Based on, that's how my plan and my strategy works. So at that point, no matter what, because I'm trying to kind of work this plan the same way, no matter whether I'm trading a couple of shares or 100 or 1,000 shares. So no matter what, once I've sold partial shares, my strategy is to sell the rest at break even. That way, if there is a profit there, I'm not giving anything back. So now it's coming back down to my entry. And then I get out right there at 321.5, so my entry was at 321. So I was just trying to save, a little bit of money by getting out, just a hair early.
21 and a half. It might bounce back up.
So, and then it came right down to 321. So, I mean, I would have been out anyway, right there. But then watch what happens. This is kind of disappointing. And, this is the kind of thing like, man, you got to be so careful with the stock market because the psychology could get to you and you start changing things because of the way one trade went. I did this actually, was earlier in the week, and it was like a big, not a big loss, but one of my bigger losses of the week, like a 22-cent loss that didn't need to happen at all, because it only happened because I let a trade get into my head that I took the day before. And this is the same type of thing where if I overthink this thing, then I'm going to change my strategy and change my plan, and that's going to screw everything up. Whether the next trade works or not, if it's not part of my strategy or my plan, it's going to mess up my data, and it won't make me be able to judge clearly whether or not my strategy works in the long run. So you'll see what happens here. There's my orders. You can check them out.
That looks like a loser or break even because even or like it sucks. I guess.
All right. Yeah. So what's setting up here is kind of like a crappy 4-bar play. But the nice thing is I don't take any more trades in the session once I've taken one, and that keeps me from FOMO trading. I may have jumped in on a FOMO trade here, and I think it would have actually been it worked out this time, but more often than not, it doesn't work out when you do that. So it's just a rule of mine now not to do that ever.
I tried to sell half of my remaining shares and only got out for like a 2-cent gain there.
And I mean, look at how choppy this thing is anyway. Here it breaks the level, and it doesn't really pop up. It kind of chops around a bit.
And there it came back down to my break even. So that kind of sucks. A good prop for that perfect setup.
So look there. That would have been kind of like the same thing all over again if I would have gotten in there, because I would have been filled at like 328. It pops up to 329. It comes right back down below my entry. So, like I said, I couldn't take a trade there anyway because my trading plan says 1 trade per day. But, it wouldn't have worked out if I did.
Probably on 1 trade. So I think in the end. So anyway. All right.
Now, I think this thing did end up popping up more. Let's take a look at it now. Looks like it had kind of a fake breakout there. So this thing, it's really choppy. This would have been a tough trade no matter what. You see, like on almost every candle up, there's a red candle following it that comes right back down to the entry or below it. So this would have been a really tough one. I mean, yeah, overall it ran, but I mean, when you're a scalper, you're playing off of each candle. So, yeah. There's nothing really I can say about this stock or this trade. There was really no indication of that choppiness coming in because the sell-off was pretty clean, and then this run-up was pretty nice and clean, with this little pullback. So the pre-market was a bit choppy, but that, you never know what's going to happen intraday. And yeah, I mean, this thing's taken off now for sure, but I mean, I bet it's going to continue to chop. The overall run may be upward, but like I said, when you're a scalper, you're trying to get in and out real quick, and I'm trying to protect my capital and not take any big hits. So when things start to look a little bit shaky, I just get out. So that's my trade for the day, and my next trade, if I do take one, if there's something good, will be in the aftermarket, and I'll make a video about it, win or lose, and we can all learn something from it. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Good luck out there.